my name is Stephen Hughes, the host of Steven's All Out Baseball Show. I've not done a Steven's All Out Baseball Show for a very long time, so I just thought of doing one today. I have been doing the Deets and Stevens All Out Sports Show. I also did an edition of Stevens Weekly Hoops, but I haven't been able to get around to Stevens All Out Baseball Show. So this is probably gonna be a 45-minute show. Right now is 8:19 in the West Coast, 11:19 in the East Coast. Sorry for starting a little bit late. Technical difficulties had to get me set back just a little bit, and we're ready to get the show started. So today is a little bit different. We do not have any special guest. I am taking in phone number. I will be accepting text messages, any questions, any calls. The phone number is on the chat screen right there. As you're looking at the screen, there should be like a little sentence cloud up there. You can put stuff on there. You put questions. You can call the number on the screen 650-315-6543. I'll accept any calls and I'll accept any text messages. If you want any questions off the text messages, please put in your name first, and then I can state your name on the air. Put in the state which you live in, and then answer the question from right there. So we can get this show on the roll. So already I got two questions from two nice men. First, Nick Aguilera. He asked one question. The first question: who's the best in the AL West, in the AL West and the NL West, or who's the best in the West, AL or NL? So I think Nick was trying to say, is the American League West better than the NL National League West? So Nick, to answer your question, I think that the American League West is better this year or currently right now, because mainly the Texas Rangers and the A's have a less of a deficit than really what they thought. What we really thought this year. The magic number for Texas is 14. That's a lot, and the A's are only three back of Texas. So yeah, and to look at the NL West, there are two teams probably that are probably going to be making the playoffs. In the American League West, there are three. There's Texas. There's Oakland. Oakland's probably going to take the AL wildcard spot unless Texas falls off the map, leading the West. Or it can be the Angels. The Angels, according to ESPN.com, has a 23% chance of making the playoffs. So there's still a possibility in there. And I think that the American League West, even though it only has four teams, actually next year or 2 years from now, the Astros are going to come into the AL West to even the division. So each division will have five teams in every division: AL East, Central, West, NL East, Central, West. Everybody's going to have five teams now. But three teams right now for the American League West is more competitive than the National League West. And the Giants, their magic number is now 9. And we will go from. Then we got another question from Chris Sylvester. Chris Sylvester. And this is actually Stromick. So, why have the Orioles been good all year? That's the question from Chris. And that's a good question. I think right now the Orioles are the reason that the Orioles have been losing of late is because they're playing the A's at Oakland, and they fell a couple. They lost in, I think, 2 or 3, or I think they got swept maybe. But Baltimore, they did lose their lead in the AL East. They're down now 1 game to the Yankees. The Yankees magic number is 16. So there's no chance. There's no definite possibility that the Yankees are going to win the AL East. And the Yankees, they have a 94% chance of making the playoffs. I do see them making the playoffs, but the question is now, are they going to be the AL East champions, or are they going to be one of the slots in the AL, in the AL wildcard game that they just established? So okay, so let's say if the season ended today, sorry, if the season ended today, Baltimore, the winner of the Orioles Oakland game will be taking on Texas. That's gonna be a little bit tough. First, let's go to the wild card game. Baltimore against Oakland. They already played just last weekend, and Oakland obviously won the series. That is a problem for Baltimore because now Baltimore needs to beat out the Yankees so they can get a slot in playing against the Chicago White Sox. And the White Sox, they will like to play the Yankees because they lead the season series 5-2 against the Yankees. So it's crazy out there in the American League. In Texas, if they play Oakland, which they are division rivals out of the American League East, that's going to be a series to look at. And the Yankees, they have a particularly easy schedule in the next 10 games. New York, they're going to be starting. Is he going to be starting or finishing a series against Toronto? Then they play Oakland. That's going to be a good. That's going to be a nice series to look at. But Oakland, they're playing at New York. Oakland has never had a lot of success at Yankee Stadium. And then they go to Minnesota, and then they go back, and then they play Toronto again. So look, it's going to be very hard for the Orioles to really catch up because I think um, the Orioles, schedule is a wee bit tougher, especially. It looks like I want to answer Chris's answer now. The reason why the Orioles have done so good is because their batting has really come together. The batting, they got Mark Reynolds. He's really done very well, hitting some jacks, hitting a lot of jacks. Adam Jones, he is probably the most underrated player in all of baseball. He is very good. I can consider him a 30 home run, 30 stolen base type of guy. He's that good. He has a lot of speed, and he has a lot a potential to be a possible MVP candidate one day. And if the Orioles win, okay, the Orioles and the Yankees schedule looks a little bit alike because the Orioles are playing Toronto too before the Yankees play Toronto again. So if you guys get that kind of. So I'm looking at the Yankees schedule and I'm looking at the schedule for the Orioles. It's It's a little bit different because it's actually this. It's really it's a little bit different. The Orioles they're playing. They're okay. Currently, they're playing the Mariners. Then the Red Sox. Then Toronto. Then the Red Sox again. Then they end the season against Tampa Bay. That's not going to be good for the Orioles. For the Yankees, this is actually a good thing because while Baltimore is playing Tampa Bay, New York is playing as Boston, who's in dead last or in fourth place in the American League East. So the Yankees will have an edge at the end of the year if the division comes down to the final game. So anything can happen in the American League East. And to go back to the question again, the pitching has been great. They got Randy Wolf, who's a good veteran that the Orioles need. And then their closer, Jim Johnson, he's done very well. He was an All-Star this year. I think he had the most saves uh, before in the first half of the regular season. So he's looking very, very good. Also, bringing in Joe Saunders from Arizona as a good acquisition, and we'll go from there. I got another question. The most underrated team in baseball. Most underrated team in baseball. That's a good question because you look at for the hunt for October, you have a lot of notable teams out there. You have the Nationals, you have the Yankees, you have the Braves, Orioles. Orioles is getting up there in publicity mainly because they've done so good in such a short period of time. Everybody knows about the Rangers. I think the most underrated team is probably the A's. A lot of people do not like the Oakland market. They don't like the Oakland A's. A lot of people do not like the Oakland Raiders. That's why SportsCenter doesn't really, or any of the national TV channels for sports like SportsCenter or MLB Network. They don't give a lot of attention to Oakland because of the bad marketing. Um, with the Raiders, and then you got the Warriors, and it's just not good for in Oakland right now. It's just not good. They're underrated. They're the most underrated team because of that. Also, they had the lowest amount of salary. I think I said it right in all of baseball. The A's are in the Yankees' mind. They're poor, pretty much. They're like third class. They're remember in Moneyball. There's the Yankees. There's all the other major league teams. There's 50 feet of crap, and there's us. They're dead. They're dead on us poor. They've had a long season to go through, and they're gonna have a long season at the end of the year. They're playing against Detroit right now. They're actually starting a series against Detroit tomorrow. Then they're playing the Yankees. Then they're playing Texas. Then they're going to play Seattle. Then they play Texas again. So two things that the A's will have to accomplish to keep their wild card spot, or even take out the Rangers. They're playing 7 games against the Rangers in the last 10 games, or pardon me, 13 games of the regular season. So they get obviously get an opportunity to shut the door and get the American League West, and that will be a total surprise to everybody. And that will be such an accomplishment by the A's, really being the underdog team, really being the underrated team, really being the hated team around Major League Baseball because of the marketing once again, and just going out there and showing. Look at Josh Reddick. Remember him, Red Sox fans? I think we traded him for Andrew Bailey, and I think he had elbow surgery during the regular season this season, or it was this season or last season. He didn't do so well last season, or this season. But look at Josh Reddick. Reddick, he has 20 plus home runs. Then we got Cespedes from Jonas Cespedes, blah, blah, blah. Jonas Cespedes from Cuba, and he's done pretty well. He's been injured a little bit, but I think you never know. I think the A's are. I think the A's are for real if they really get past through this tough rest of September, and a tough 3-game series against Texas to end the season. So, guys, again, give me give me questions. Give me anything. The numbers on the screen on the bottom right. In the chat box, 650-315-6543 is the number. Text me any questions and call if you want to. You can talk to me on the show. Give me some questions. Give me anything like, what do you think about the A's? What do you think about the Nationals? Nationals have been talked a lot lately ever since Steven Strasburg got shut down. They did lose to the Braves on Sunday. Gio Gonzalez not really doing that well, but looks like everything is going to be good in Washington. Their magic number in the nation's capital is 11, but mainly because Atlanta is only 5 games back, and for the Giants is only 9 because the Dodgers are 7.5 back. So when we come back, I'll give you some predictions of mine. I'll give you a lot of news, including the MLB is investigating eye black. If you heard this before in college football, it's Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow would have a Bible verse on his eye black, and they banned that in college football the year he left. But Major League Baseball is now investigating that Yonel Escobar, during a game, was wearing eye black that was depicting a gay slur written in Spanish. So this is some big news. When we come back, we'll be talking about that and a few injuries around Major League Baseball, like Giancarlo Stanton and Alex Avila. When we come back to Steven's All Baseball Show here on Spreaker.com.